Thank you very much. Welcome everyone to Myddelton House Gardens, and thank you for attending this afternoon. In particular, I'd just like to welcome Brigadier Parker Bowles, the EA Bowles Society, Wesley Kerr, Chair of the London Committee of Heritage Lottery Fund. I believe we might have Stuart Harding, Director of the Parks Agency, Elizabeth Banks, President of the RHS, our architects, Burns and Associates, contractors, architects and couples who built this amazing glass house you see behind you today. All of our friends from Forty Hall, the Forty Hill Horticultural Society, Enfield Council, Capel Manor, Worshipful Company of Gardeners, staff, volunteers, and if I've missed anybody, I do apologise. That probably actually includes just about everyone. Last year, Duchess of Cornwall, we're very pleased to have Duchess of Cornwall open the renovated gardens. This year we have Man of Cornwall, Mr. Tim Smit, who's come all the way from Cornwall, and I'd like to thank him very much for coming here this afternoon. Thank you, Tim, and thank you for agreeing to perform the opening ceremony for us. Tim Smit needs an introduction. As you will all know, together with John Nelson, Tim rediscovered and then restored the lost gardens of Helligan, and of course he's also Chief Executive and co-founder of the Eden Project, and I'm sure many of you may have visited that in Cornwall, and I certainly have. It's really a fantastic project. Now, this restoration of the gardens and indeed the greenhouse here was really part of a dream. I mean, we were very pleased to when we got the Heritage Lottery Fund for the gardens, and of course once we started doing work on the gardens, the footings for the greenhouse were rediscovered, and that became another key project for us here in bringing these gardens back to life. The gardens team and Andrews Burzins, our architects, had the foundations, just a couple of old photos to work from, and just 9 months later you can see the result, which is really stunning. I think the recreation here and some of the detail of the Victorian mechanisms in these greenhouses are absolutely fantastic, and I think it's a tribute to everyone who's worked on this, how this project has managed to be completed. Now, as you explore the glasshouse range, you may notice each space has a different climate, with the sunken glasshouse at the eastern end is the warmer part, and so I think we're all looking forward to tasting cucumbers and melons and other such things that have been growing there, if Andrew allows us anyway. And possibly there may be some cucumber sandwiches later on, although grown in the greenhouse since it was actually recreated. But we look forward to that kind of produce in the future, and we look forward to welcoming all of you back again to see how it develops and to see what we managed to achieve within these new greenhouses. Now, it's my pleasure now to officially hand over to Tim Smit, and thank you once again, Tim, for coming along today, and we're very pleased to have you here today to perform formally the opening ceremony. Thank you very much indeed.
Well, hello ladies and gentlemen. I can't tell you how exciting it is to revisit your youth. Seeing the work that has been done here, and indeed you're absolutely right, the quality of the work is exceptional. And during the conversations before you all arrived, one of the things that I find so important about these gardens, and why I relate to them from Helligan, and why I think that the Lee Valley Authority need to be commended for having had the foresight to restore them, and I think a huge amount of gratitude too to Heritage Lottery Fund for having had the insight to invest in them, but not just invest in them. The management processes that they are putting in place for it perfectly capture the sense of this being the window into one man's soul. When you walk around this garden, you have this beautiful intimacy. It's a place which people feel they could be part of. It has that wonderful, gentle British eccentricity too, of someone who loves things, collecting things together, who is, if you like, an artist, a very fine artist. My particular favourites, I love seeing the dog basin, so his dogs had somewhere easy to eat, and you think, drink, and you think, isn't that great? That's how gardens should be, not poncy made-up places where you feel inferior. That some knob has actually got a huge estate and wants you to feel as if you've got no cash, so you ought to be jolly impressed. What's great about this is it's a place where Stuart will remember I once managed to disgrace myself in my very first public speech to the Historic Houses Association at the Horticultural Halls, because there were all these people who were called Nigel in the typical, the typical corduroy trousers, the tweed jacket with the leather patches, the kind of gormless smile, sort of thing. They all owned stately homes, and they were asking for a few tips because I just restored Heathergen, and being an archaeologist by training, they thought I was like them. And if you'll excuse my Greek, what I actually said was, if you can't get drunk in it, you don't feel inspired to dream in it, and you don't want to make love in it, for fuck's sake, tarmac it. This went down really badly. I have to tell you, this beautiful garden is a place that I would like to get drunk in. I would feel inspired to dream in, and I'll leave the rest to you. I think there's a great duty of smiling when you come to this place, and I know it's not a very popular thing to do, and it's very unprecedented, but I think we should give a whooping clap to the team of Andrew, the council, Heritage Lottery, Brigadier Parker Bowles for, you know what he calls this garden, and I think I'd love to hear your views. No, I'd love to hear your views on this, because Myddelton, let's be honest, it's a bit dull as a name, isn't it? It sounds like one of those places like Midsummer Murders. And also Wales has got this botanic garden called Myddelton, and it feels a bit beige. But do you know what Brigadier Parker Bowles calls this place? It's Uncle Gussie's Garden. Isn't that the coolest name? Don't you think that's what it should be called?
Hey!
Great, so that was the whoop for all of that, yes? So what's left now for me to do is to get the shears, and in a completely spontaneous way. There we are. But, yeah, not just any old ribbon, is it? Don't you think the garden's in the right hands? I think so.
Do you know how to use shears, Tim?
Do you see that, Stuart? Mud. Dirt. Fingernails. Might you hold this?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. No, you're photographing. That's it. Lovely. Here we go. Wow, that's a bit zany. You don't want to do this when you're drunk.
Oh my goodness.
I have never seen anything like this. Wow.
Edward Scissorhands.
There we go. I feel like Edward Scissorhands. Alright.
Can't do it. Sharp on the shears.
You sure you want just me to do it? I think you should be here, and I think Wesley, Heritage Lottery Fund, come on. Right, okay. And where's Stuart? Stuart, come up here, mate. Come on. And Andrew.
Anybody else? Need a wide angle.
Team effort.
Round the other side, guys. All round one side.
Okay, right.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, make sure we get it all in.
Come on, all in. That's it. Come get Brigadier Parker Bowles up here. Let's line up. Oh, you don't mind, really? Come on. We're a gang. That's it. Yeah, that's right. The strength in numbers. All right. He's supposed to be somewhere else. Are we ready?
Yeah, ready.
Okay, I'm cutting now. Shit.
But why?
Oh, there we go. Stand by.
Hey!
Thank you very much indeed, Tim. Now, it is just a minute. It's our pleasure now to present you with a replica of Mr. Bowles' two-pronged fork. And I'm going to ask Joyce Ryan, who's a chairman of the Gardens Group, to formally present you with a copy of Mr. Bowles' two-pronged fork.
Can I just say what a pleasure it is for all of us that you came, and what an absolute honour and privilege it is for me to have been the chairman of the Garden Committee, because it is a magical garden. There's a wonderful feeling here, and since Andrew came and we have the lottery money, it's been transformed, and it will give pleasure to so many people for goodness knows how long. So it's my absolute privilege to thank you and to give you the fork with one hand. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Look at
I
that,
hope
guys.
you'll enjoy That's right.
I tell you what, this is bugging my trip back on British Rail. Thank you so much. This is a real pleasure.
Once again, thank you very much indeed, Jeff. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. That sort of concludes the formal part of the proceedings, but please now join us for afternoon tea in the marquee, and also I'm sure that
Stroll around.
we can have a stroll around the new greenhouse. Andrew will show
everybody.
anybody around who wants to be shown around, I'm quite sure. Okay. Thank you very much.
It's really nicely done, isn't it?